The Buffalo Bills, they ended up winning the AFC East division last year. They're going to win the AFC East again this year. I'm fully convinced of that. You know, I didn't really like any of their, well, I'm not going to say that. I wasn't really overwhelmed with any of the moves that they made to bring in guys addition to this team. Mitchell Trubisky was the best one of the lot.
That's the reason they're not in the C range for me. Because Mitch Trubisky is a guy that if anything happened to Josh Allen, he is close enough that you wouldn't have to change the scheme. Matt Barkley was always a scheme problem because Matt Barkley is, I think, in a foot race would beat me by a hair. And it was never a fit to me. I like Trubisky on a one-year prove-it deal. You never know. He might come out in the preseason, look good. You might be able to parlay that into something for a team that loses a quarterback. I always like having assets. The reason that I have, and I have to give him credit for re-signing Milano and Daryl Williams. That was two of the biggest things they had to do. Bring this team back in as close to a proximity of what it was last year as you can. My problem is you basically traded John Brown for Emmanuel Sanders, and that is a massive step back to me.
Yeah.
If you were going to do it, and I'll be honest with you, had they just cut John Brown with the intention of letting Gabriel Davis be the second wide receiver, this would probably have been a B. Bringing in old Emmanuel Sanders, who has injury issues and just flat out, I don't think is very good. He has moments, but it's just very obvious to me. I watched film on him, and it's just nothing jumps off the page to me. And you've got a guy in Gabriel Davis that this is going to take snaps away from. I don't like that.
Right.
To me, it's a pretty net neutral offseason for Buffalo so far. I want to see some depth things in the draft. I would like to see
a tight end.
Yeah, because they were hot. They were going to be hot and heavy allegedly after Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, and they just never got there.
And they ended up with Jacob Hollister.
I don't love Jonnu Smith, and I don't love Hunter Henry, and I really don't love how much money they got. But having tight ends there is important. They lost Tyler Kroft to the Jets, who's a pretty good blocker. Blocking tight ends are important in this offense. This is another place that Hunter Long, the kid out of Boston College, this is another place I would really like him.
Yeah. I think all in all, the Buffalo Bills did pretty well in the offseason because I came into it thinking the number one, number two thing that they had to do was Daryl Williams and Matt Milano.
Well, to me,
by taking care of those guys, they basically met my quota by doing that.
And here's the thing. Not only did they do that, they didn't overspend on either one of them. I think they got fair market deals on both. Now you've got them signed for a few years. You didn't overspend on, I hate teams that overspend in free agency. That's the reason I hammered New England so much. I don't care if you give a guy money that maybe they don't deserve, but he's the only guy out there. He's the only scheme fit, whatever the case may be. I hammer teams that overpay for guys in free agency because they become albatross contracts on your cap ledger. And of the 4 teams in this division, 3 of them did a very good job of not doing that, and one of them didn't.